Hi, I'm Jim with Stickley on Security, and today I'm going to talk to you about the risks of trying to find a new job. Now, when you're out there hunting for a new job, the last thing you should have to worry about is someone trying to steal your identity, but unfortunately that's exactly what's happening. Criminals are out there targeting people looking for new jobs, and most often people will not realize that they're being scammed until it's too late. The attack works like this. You're hunting for a job online at one of the major sites like Monster.com or maybe LinkedIn or even Craigslist. And while you're searching through the online sites, you come across the most perfect job. This job offers great pay, great benefits, medicals included. They'll even let you work from home. Everything about this job is great. Most importantly, they'll even train you if there's certain things that you don't know. So, of course, you immediately fill out the online application, submit it, and wait, hoping that they're going to contact you. A couple days later, you receive a phone call and the company's interested in hiring you. So they schedule up a phone interview, and maybe it's the next day, maybe it's that day. You do that phone interview and you nail it. Everything goes perfect, you're getting along great with them. You're really excited, and they tell you, hey, we'll let you know. A day or two later after that, they contact you again and they say, hey, everything went great. We're very interested in hiring you. Our company does have a drug policy, so we're going to do a drug test, and we also are going to be required to do a background check just to make sure you're on the up and up. You go, hey, no problem at all. I feel great. Go for it. And they go, okay, you'll receive an email and it'll have a lot more details, but we're looking forward to bringing you on board. A few minutes later, you receive an email from the company, and sure enough, there's a form attached, and it's basically where you're going to give them permission to do a background check. And on this form, it requires your name, your address, your social security number, your driver's license number, and your mother's maiden name. It also talks at the bottom a little bit of legal text saying, hey, basically you're giving this company permission to do a background check. You're required to sign and date this form and fax it back over to them. A few days later, you receive another email from the company, and unfortunately this time they inform you that a freeze has been put on all hiring and they're no longer able to offer you the position. They say they will keep your resume on file, and if something comes open or when the freeze is lifted, they will notify you, and if you're still available, they'd still love to hire you. Now, while you're crushed that you didn't get this job, what you don't realize is you've just become the victim of identity theft, and your nightmare is about to start. So what really happened? Well, the reality is the job you are applying for never actually existed. In fact, many times the company that you're applying to isn't even a real company. And that's how this thing starts. A criminal basically is putting up an ad for a job, and that job doesn't exist, and their whole goal is to make that job look as incredible as possible. Sometimes it'll be an entry-level position, sometimes they'll be targeting, C-level executives. It doesn't really matter. Their goal is to try to make the job look good and get as many people as possible interested in applying for that job. Remember that a criminal can create a fake company simply by making a website and getting an 800 phone number. So if you go out and do a little research on the company, that company's going to look legitimate because you typed in www.whoever they are, the website came up, you looked at the company, you go, okay, this is legitimate. Also, this 800 number, if you call the 800 number, it's going to go to a voicemail system, and again, it's going to sound very legitimate. All of this can be forged very easily by a criminal, and it's all designed to trick you into thinking that you're applying for a real job. In addition, a criminal might actually post an ad on behalf of a legitimate company, and again, using that company's name and reputation to help entice people to apply for the job. So they might post one on behalf of Microsoft, or maybe even on behalf of like KPMG. It doesn't really matter who the company is, as long as the company looks legitimate. However, they're going to have some place for you to submit the resume that is not going to be that company's real place where you would actually submit it. Instead, you're submitting the resumes to this particular criminal instead, and they're going to collect them, and they're then going to go ahead and move on with their scam. When a criminal reaches out to their victim, they have all of the power, because most people, when they're applying for a job, they're trying to be on their best behavior. They're doing everything they can to try to impress this potential employer, and so the last thing they're going to do is argue or push back, and the criminal knows this. So a criminal is going to contact you, and they're going to give you all this, song and dance about how great the company is, and then when they ask for that background check, you're going to go, okay, that seems relatively normal. A lot of companies require a background check, and the criminal knows this. So they're going to take advantage of that and try to get you to give this information before you've even gotten the job. Well, in the example that I gave you, I was talking about how you might receive an email and there'll be a form in the email and you have to fill this form out. The scam's not always going to be the same. In some situations, the criminal might call up and while they're doing the interview, just say, hey, we're also going to need to do a background check, so let me get some information so we can get that processing. And they're just going to ask you right there on the phone for all that confidential information. In other cases, they might tell you, hey, we need you to go to a website and fill out a form online. The scam always comes down to simple information. They want to know who you are. They want to know your social security number. If possible, they want your driver's license number, mother's maiden name, any information they can get to help them perform identity theft against you. To protect yourself against this type of scam, you really need to do your homework. The first thing you should do is make sure that you can find information about the company. Now again, as I said, some people might actually pretend to be part of a legitimate company, but oftentimes they won't. Oftentimes they'll just make up a fake company. So go and do a Google search and make sure you can find as much information as possible about this company. If all you can find is their website, and that's it, there's nothing else you can find about them, I would stop right there. That's a major red flag. Odds are this company doesn't really exist, and that website was just put up for this scam. Next, verify the person you're dealing with is actually working for that company. Now the easiest way to do this is go to the corporation's website and see if the phone number matches up to the phone number they gave you. If they didn't, odds are that means they're giving you a direct number. That might be okay, it might not. So what you want to do is you want to contact the corporation and you want to say, hi, I'm trying to track down so-and-so. And they're either going to say, yes, that person works here, or we have no idea who that person is. If they say that person works there, say, okay, I have a phone number. I just want to confirm this is their direct number. You tell them the phone number you have, and they're either going to say, yes, that is their direct number, or nope, we have no idea what that phone number is. Again, if they don't know who that phone number belongs to, odds are it's a scam and you want to stop right there and you don't want to go any further. On the other hand, they say, yes, that is the real number and that's a real person. You've now confirmed you're dealing with somebody that really works for the company and you can feel a lot more confident about moving forward. The most important step is to remember, do not give out your confidential information until you've completed the previous steps. If you have verified that this company is real, and more importantly, that the employee that you're dealing with over there legitimately works over at this company, then you can feel pretty confident about dealing with them and doing that background check. On the other hand, if you haven't validated all this information first, don't get sucked into a conversation over the phone and just give out the information. Criminals are going to target you, and that's what they're going to try to do. They want to catch you off guard. So the first time they call you and start to talk to you about this potential job, right then and there, they may try to get your information, and they may try to get you to say, you know, hey, we are going to do this background check right now because we want to fast track this. We really like you. Don't fall victim to that. Instead, say, hey, hold on a second. You know, I'm very interested in the position. However, I have to protect myself. You know, my confidential information is very important. Any employer is going to respect the fact that you're not just willing to give up confidential information out of the blue. On the other hand, criminals are not going to respect that, and they're going to push back and they're going to try to get you to give that information. So if you're on a phone call, and it's the very first time you started dealing with them, don't just give this confidential information out. Tell them you just need to do a couple minutes of research to validate that they are legitimate. As soon as you've done that, you'll be happy to work with them and give them the information they need. Well, I realize this is definitely some extra work that's going to be involved when you're out there trying to find a job, to go through these extra steps to validate that it's legitimate. It's worth it. At the end of the day, you do not want to become a victim of identity theft, and this type of scam does happen all the time. So, as always, spend a little time, do a little research, and protect yourself so you don't become the next victim of identity theft. I'm Jim for Stickland Security. Have a great day.